My name's Juan. I sell cars.
Nick Beard here. Live in Philadelphia.
I am Ray.
And together we are
Taken! You're watching on DVD! I know a lot of people will probably look at why the world needs Taken DVD, or would look at them and be like, there's no reason. I mean, this Taken was a fairly small blip in a lot of people's lives as far as the general hardcore world is concerned, or punk rock world, whatever you'd like to call it. But I feel just the fact that so many people definitely just attached to us from all different walks of life, from people that hardly even listen to music that actually randomly heard us, and people that were actually really involved in the scene and enjoyed bands from all different kinds of genres and what have you. I feel like we just needed to document the fact that this was more than just a band to us. It was more than just getting up there and playing a few songs and then getting off the stage.
Out of nowhere one day, I guess we had a talent show, which I thought, talent show, I got some girl playing flute and whatever. That's fine. Like one of the last sets was they announced this band Taken. I'm like, oh great, this is gonna be awful. And I remember sitting in the bleachers watching this band, and it sounded like nothing I'd really heard before. Like they sound loud, like pretty different than anything I was used to. And they started playing, and like I could hear people around me just like, what's going on? What are they doing? This is ridiculous. Are they gonna cut them? I'm just sitting there, just like kind of laughing. It's kind of like, this is actually kind of cool. I mean, I don't know why everybody's so bummed on this. This is actually kind of neat. I had a friend next to me. He thought the same thing pretty much, and let's see, so it was '98. So they were seniors, and I was a freshman. Anyway, they kept going. They kept playing. And by the end of the set, the senior class was going crazy, and everyone else was just kind of like, what was that? What just happened? And it was just a really, really neat experience.
after a while, it became pretty apparent that we needed to do more touring and play more outside of Orange County. First actual tour we ever attempted to do was keyword is attempted. We it was with Curl Up and Die, and basically, I'll never forget how crushed I was. I had been working for about 3 to 4 months, like solidly booking things, just basically spending hours and hours on the internet, phone calling, because we were planning on leaving in June. I started in January and I was seriously spending at least 5 to 6 hours a night on it, just getting contacts, getting people, and so by the time that June rolled around, like I had a good 3 weeks booked. Then the day before we left for tour, I opened up my email box. All the shows I had booked had fallen. Like kids were bailing out on me left and right.
It was a full U.S. 30 days, 5 shows. Started in our hometown, played 2 local shows. And then our next stop, Virginia. Next stop, Boston. Next stop, Montreal, and then drive home. It's full U.S. West Coast, East Coast.
I will never forget that because I seriously was just looking at all these emails and like legitimately I started to cry. I was just like, I didn't know what to do because it's like, all these people were depending on me, like as far as Curl Up and Die. You guys didn't take it. And it just killed me because it's like, everything was solid and all of a sudden everyone bailed out.
Growing up in Southern California, I knew who Taken was, but never really gave him the time of the day. Never not core, but one summer I was staying in Texas and my friend and me downloaded a Taken song just for no reason. Wanted to check them out, and it was Drowning in Numbers and pretty much just fell in love. It was like the best song ever, and went back home. Started working at a record store. Ray was also working at another Bionic, and obviously started talking, became friends, going to shows. Then, eventually Ray moved into my house, and then about 6 months later, he asked if I wanted to go on their summer tour, and of course I said yes.
Our first experience with them was in 2001 in the summertime. We went out and did a full US, and actually met Ray a couple weeks beforehand at Hellfest 2001. He came up and he introduced himself and said, I'm Ray and we're going to be touring together. And I was like, awesome. And right away you can tell that it was going to be a great time, and it was one of the most fun experiences of my life.
The following summers, we were actually able to package up with some amazing bands. Like we actually got on a tour with Between the Buried and Me, It Dies Today, and Alexis on Fire. And then we saw as we would go through the same cities over and over that like there would be reoccurring people, and a few more people would come out each time. Like as opposed to 5 people, the next time it would be 20, and then the last time we would go through there would be like 70, 80 people exclusively just to see us. But this tour also marked a lot of the financial troubles that we were having, as every band does that is trying to make the transition from part-time local band to a full-time band. But it just started discussions as far as like what each individual member was looking for as far as like in their life, and as far as just the general standing of the band. So a lot of discussions happened on the road with that, and that kind of, in my mind, that kind of like it marked sort of the beginning of the end. The last 2 weeks, as far as our shows in Canada and as far as our shows here in Southern California, it was probably some of the most surreal moments of my life.
I flew out to Hamilton again for the last show in Canada, and it was amazing. The energy in that place was insane, and it felt like it was like 200 degrees, and every single person was just...
Playing that show was amazing. There was so many kids there. Just blew my mind that we were able to play that show.
And then doing the 2 hometown shows that we had here at Showcase and Chain Reaction were mind-blowing as well. Showcase always has a weird feel to it in the sense that it doesn't really feel like so much of a community vibe. Just you go there to see a show and then you leave. But that night it felt just like a bunch of friends hanging out, partying one last time in Corona.
Everybody was just there, like, supporting us and watching us, and it was definitely like different than any show I think we've ever played.
And the last Chain Reaction show was mind-boggling. Like I had expected a really good turnout from a lot of friends, like from all over the place, coming into town from Canada, from Vegas, from the East Coast, just people from all over the place showing their support. But I did not have any idea that over 700 people would show up at Chain Reaction, and it would be probably one of the most prolific moments of my life.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better show.
For the last show that I really saw is that, it was so touching to see people would come up to him and they'd be crying. And it's like, I can't believe that you're not going to perform anymore.
If a band is going to break up and have a show like that, that's the way to go. It was it. Yeah. It was pretty much perfect.
It made me feel like I wanted to continue on with the band.
And there were so many new faces, and I think that a lot of kids were kind of crushed, going, whoa, this is a new band and I never really even saw ever. And for the first time I'm seeing them, and this is going to be the last time.
I'm really sad that they're gone, and I keep hoping and wishing one day that they will come back.
Looking back on what I'm taking with me as far as the rest of my life is concerned, it's the fact that that the littlest of things that you do can affect a person.
It just had this amazing ability to do, just to create ideas, and I'm eternally grateful for everything that they've been able to help me with.